What's up, YouTubers? I'm Riley.
This is Andrew.
And on this episode of Hills and Grills, we're out here east of Apache Junction, hiking through a canyon, checking out some vintage car wrecks and just some beautiful scenery today. So we're going to show you around and kind of show you some really cool cars that we found. Stay tuned. We're out here in this canyon, starting to get a little late here. And, you know, just this gorgeous scenery with all the saguaros, and we'll probably be getting into sunset in a little while. You know, there's the road up there. And there's one of the cars right there that went off. It's not as old as the others. It's about a 90s Ford pickup. And we'll kind of check that one out too. If you wanted to go up that side or whichever.
We got the fucking box.
And here's our first piece here, which is definitely some really old metal. Looks like it has a little pinstripe to it still. And we got a old square body glove box showing in the bottom here. Chevy. Pretty distinctive. And we're gonna get around our obstacles and whatnot, and then we're gonna make our way
back.
All right, just came across this. This looks like a early 2000s Tahoe, and we already actually had come down here and we're working our way back through, but a lot of the newer vehicles have already been taken out. I'm guessing we were guessing due to either using for helicopter training, or one, we found a couple rims to a Mustang, so some of them might have been something where people wanted all the parts and they tried to haul them out. But it's a pretty high curve, so don't really know how they would have drug them out of here. Definitely a little bit of rock climbing though. Yeah, see, that's not too bad. Coming across our next part for what looks like, whoa, Model A or T. Probably goes with that. So now there's a couple pieces. We got all these holes in here. And we're getting closer to that Ford there. There's the hood off to the right. Yeah, over under tree there. I don't know how well you can see it. Back in there, there's a tire for something newer, but like we said, there's newer grills, stuff like that down here, but the cars have obviously been removed. But we'll show you at least what parts we find and see what we find. What'd you find?
I don't know. I think it's the other I don't know, hinge piece for that fucking Model A.
It looks like we got the muffler for that newer Tahoe pieces. It looks like we've been finding. He might have found another rusty piece for a Model A, which I'm just randomly collecting. As you can see, we just made it to a couple more that are down here, so give us 1 minute to catch our breath and we're gonna work our way over and we'll explain them to you.
So we got I want to say 1930s panel truck right here. We can't find really any markings or a VIN number on it, but it does have a green diamond badge on the side of the motor. It looks like it used to be an old delivery truck right here. We have half of the panel truck, and it says Arizona laid brand select eggs, finest poultry. So we're guessing it was an old delivery truck, but don't know how long it's been down here. Pretty cool. right, guys, and so here's the panel of this 1930s panel truck, and it looks like it says got Arizona laid, and then brand, select eggs, and finest poultry. That's really all we can make out, but look at how crumpled this fender is. I mean, this truck just had to go through some stuff to get down here.
Well, I mean, nothing says I'm driving this out of the canyon, you know, but can you imagine cruising in this convertible, top down, winding down these beautiful roads, and then send yourself right off about a 100-foot cliff back in the 20s? But, I mean, what a cool find, right? We're guessing 1920s, probably early 30s. Model A to Model T. And we found a couple of the parts around the canyon. She's got some giant boulders in her, of course, but still has the back latch, everything. Pretty cool find. And I mean, she's no daily, but I might have to come back and try and get my hands on this one. All right, so there's the truck hood, and there's Andrew making his way up to the Ford pickup there. But there's also this big hole right there that we're going to give a check out to. And there's just that bad to the bone old coupe. Looks like it might have even been a rumble seat, not sure there. Then we got another couple cars up this way and slowly making our way back out of the canyon. So we're gonna get up there and kind of see what we're looking at, and we'll get back to you.
All right, guys. So the truck that we've been looking at is a 1988 Ford F-150, two-wheel drive with a straight six, and it is a single cab long bed. I mean, honestly, it looks like this one, truck still has some great pressure in the clutch, so might be driving this one out of here.
That metal chunk, is that fucking the bottom part of the grill?
I don't know. So here we found the hood right there, and it looks like there's the tranny bar for that truck that went down the mountain, which it's down there, that panel. And then I'm standing on the fender of that panel truck as well. And right here is the tailgate for the Ford there. So looks like we've only got maybe one or two more vehicles down that way, and then we'll be working our way out of this canyon before we lose all of our sun. Oh.
And a wagon that someone made, I'm guessing. This doesn't look safe in the first place, but
Well,
there's a wagon too.
I guess they wanted to see if they could fly, but I guess the wings must have fell off. All right, so another really cool find we've got here was what I believe is a mid-50s Buick Century. You can kind of tell from the grill there, both fenders of this thing are just totally teed in there. And it's had a couple parts pulled off it. Most of the dash is gone. And there used to be what we think probably 1, 2, 3 other cars down here. Obviously, a Chevy Silverado came off at one point. And kind of looks like one of them might have landed on top of this guy, because that fender's pretty pushed in. So is the bumper and stuff, but still a really cool find for what it is. It's kind of a rare car, 2-door Buick with what is this? So straight 8 in this car, which that's kind of uncommon, which makes it kind of rare. The fact that it's down here and there's still even some kind of savable chrome, door handles, the fender pieces, maybe a little bit of the bumper. Really cool find to find today in this valley of dead cars.
All right, guys, right here we got a 1970 square body, and got random stuff falling up on the hill. There's a motor with all the heads pulled off of it. This thing's kind of just balancing up on a rock. It's swaying really good, but cab's up over here, and there's still rims and tires on this thing. Pretty cool find. All right, guys, and as you can see, these old Chevys they're built like a brick. This is honestly probably the most undented and beat up vehicle here, even though it is the most stripped. Someone cut off part of the truck bed up there, but honestly, this bed or the tailgate over here is in, besides being a small little bend in it, it's in really good shape. There's no hard dents in it, no dings, even the paint's not scratched. So pretty cool. The bed up here, you can't really see it, but up in the bed there's a huge patch panel, and it's hard to tell. Alright, guys, and so the motor, as I said, they stripped the heads off of it, but the motor's still in the truck. We got the front clip over here, surprisingly, and if you look at the floorboard of this, for a 1970s square body, this is beautiful. Nice and solid, and I mean, it's a little bit dinged up, but usually you don't see them that clean and unrusted. Some of these parts from the Chevy are down here, so that Chevy had to have rolled all the way from up there down onto that Buick.
Most likely. And even look at this, guys. Here's the kicker panel for, he's standing in the center of the front clip here, but even the kicker panels on my truck that's, you know, one I care about, they've got more rust than this thing. So you gotta love Arizona, sitting in the middle of a wash, and this thing's still got less rust than most cars on the road.
So the car left down here.
Yeah, the only real thing we got left of the Nissan, and that
the side skirt.
Yeah, and we got a side skirt over there, but you know, of course, the rim, it's in just, you could bolt that up to your car, but you can obviously see why these guys went probably off of here. Look at those burnouts, man. They just roasted them and then trying to drift, and obviously drifted just a little too far. So we found that one Mustang wheel down there. Here's the hood to the Mustang. And the only other piece of it anymore is right up here. As we're coming out, you'll see.
And we got this air filter and a battery.
He had that cold air intake, so he definitely had lots of skirt mobile. But there's one other rim up there, and that one's actually in really good shape too. But we're getting our way out of here. Guys, we're just about out of the canyon, hiking up the sidewall here, and there you can see there's that Ford, the Chevy and Buick, and down there there's that panel wagon. So we're just about out of here and working our way up. Well, guys, we made it back from our expedition, and we survived. I mean, heck of a hike. You can see we're home, and it's a bit colder here. We got quite a nice little warm fire going, all cozy.
And here we got the star of the show, good old tank.
And by the way, we both wanted to say, you know, we, on the newer wrecks and on some of these, condolences to the families. We understand that, you know, in some of these things, there could have been a wreck that was not as old and vintage like the ones we are trying to show. So we do give condolences for those, just saying, and you know, our hearts go out to those families. But we're just trying to hike down and find some cool vintage wrecks, finds, and find kind of forgotten things or lost America, of course. That's what we're looking for.
Abandoned stuff, vintage stuff.
Exactly. And our co-star here, Tank. So he is about 7. He's my dog. Got him when he was about 5. He was a rescue. He was abused heavily, but he is our shop dog, and currently he's going to be this month's star. So what was the first car you found again? I don't remember.
So we found a 1920s Model A or Model T.
No, before that, the first one we walked up on.
It was a 1970s Chevy pickup.
No, we found that too, that's for sure. But
The first thing
the
we
first
found.
thing you found was that panel, I think. It was actually a 19. What did I find out? I think it was a 1948 International Harvester panel wagon. And throw up an original photo of it. And then you can explain, what was that second car, if you remember?
The second car was a 1920s Model A or Model T, and I'd say 80% of the front end was completely gone.
That thing was, it was toast. We picked up the pieces out of that canyon just to make that.
We found pieces about 200 yards down the creek or canyon from where the car was at.
But it was still a pretty cool find. You don't find that much old vintage tin anymore. A lot of it's been robbed or pulled out of the ditches, and so that's one reason we do this too, is because you don't really find that much vintage stuff. Everybody's kind of getting rid of it or scrapping it out if it's in a creek bed. But yeah, throw up a photo of that originally, what it would have looked like with the soft top, and probably had a rumble seat in the back at one point in its life.
And then a photo of the one that we came across in the bottom of the canyon about 200-300 feet down.
Yeah, it was a Buick Roadmaster we came across. It was 1950s, I think. I'd have to double check, but yeah, 1950s Buick Roadmaster. I could throw up a photo of that one real quick too. And that was a really cool one. We did find a Ford F-150. That was it was a newer kind of truck. I don't know if that will be in the video or not. But that was one that we checked out, and it was still honestly pretty complete for being the year it was, and amazing enough, all the parts weren't robbed off it. Lots of parts have been robbed off of most of that stuff.
If it's worth anything, people take it.
Yeah, and that's why we don't give you the locations of this, is because as much as it sucks, we understand, because some of these we would love to be dragging out ourselves, of course, but then the next person has nothing to find. It's like hidden treasures in the mountains in my book. You never know what you're going to find if you start looking around. We did also find a 70s Chevy Square Body, which, I mean, you guys know what one of those looks like. I don't think you need to throw up a photo of that. It might have been 80s. Not really positive.
It looked like a late 70s.
Yeah, around there, But that thing was totally parted out. That's what we mean. People going down there, and they'll if they can get it out, they will. If they know where it's at.
The cab, the floorboard on the cab of the one that we found was immaculate compared to 80% of the 70 Chevys that you'll see.
Yeah, the cab and those kicker panels, just in general, if that bed wasn't so hammered, it had really solid, other than being in the bottom of the creek bed, a lot of the cars and tin you'll find here in Arizona, it's rust free. As long as it's not sitting in the bottom of the creek bed, then you might get worried, because if it's sitting in the shadows, it's going to stay moist.
Yeah.
We got to get him home. He's got to get to his. You'll see us next time, which we'll see if we get another video in before the, next holiday comes around, which is Christmas. And then New Year's, of course, right after. So we're going to try and have another video and hike in.
But also, it's freezing cold where we were at.
Yeah, there's literally a ton of snow on the ground. And, yeah.
It was 9 degrees when I woke up this morning.
It's cold. It's extremely cold. But I'm Riley.
This is Andrew.
And we appreciate you on this episode.
Don't forget Tank.
Don't forget Tank. And we appreciate you watching the video. Like, subscribe,
Comment. Let us know any, anything that'd be cool.
Yeah. And if you guys like this kind of stuff, let us know. But that's going to do it for this episode. And, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from us to you.
And we'll see you on the next one.